So if we decide to remove the hub, we will do something like that.
Hey guys, so 1 week ago we updated you on the state of the Huble. We discovered that we have a power issue and we had to modify the design of the Huble to solve this or just accept the consequences of this kind of power issue. And basically the options that we gave you were 3 options. The first one was having a thicker cable. The second one was removing the hub, and the third option was just leaving the Huble just like it is right now. And we've been receiving answers of you guys. We received around 170 answers during this week. Matt and Manel have been working really hard on first designing a new Huble and then prototyping it and kind of engineering different solutions. Actually, I would have liked that Matt last week explained the technicalities behind the Huble issue, but he just recently had an operation and he couldn't be part of the video, but this week he will be able to explain it to you.
So this is one of the previous prototypes we've had with the USB-A socket for being able to plug in a mouse or a flash disk. And the big problem is to do with the power. So we've got a USB hub chip here. So when you plug in with the USB-C cable, it comes up as a hub and it connects one of the ports to this so that you could plug in a mouse and the other port to the microchip that runs the firmware for the keyboard. But when we were testing that with computers, we were sometimes getting the problem where for some devices it was not working properly. So we got a bit of consultancy from a USB expert. The lowdown is that it's not possible to run a USB hub and make it available to plug any device you want into it unless you also have power. So if you don't provide extra power to a hub, you're limited to 100 milliamps, which is enough for lots of things, but there's things like flash disks that only need 100 milliamps, but they actually, in their configuration, say they need 500. So when you plug it in, it would never show up on your computer. Or that sometimes things would work, but then potentially, if something then has a bigger amount of power draw later, then it could cause instability, and we don't want any chance of instability. So that's one reason why like the Corsair and the Razer that we've examined before have these enormous thick cables, because they're actually running a whole other cable in there. So it's not using a hub, it's just like an extension cable. And when we were first iterating and designing on this, we wanted a thinner cable, and we basically come to the realization that it's not possible to do that. So we've got 2 options really. We can remove the hub, or we can use one of these big extension cables and still not have a hub, but just have like a path through USB.
Then we decided to check what happens if we remove the USB, how would be the industrial design of the product. And we have started drawing and trying things after the survey we did last week. Well, we had a couple of ideas. We wanted something definitely smaller. Our previous design, this design, it needed to be big because we had a big USB. But now with only 3 USB-C, we can do something very small. Now we know what we like. We decided to work more in the aesthetics and went to the second iteration of these options, that is this piece. Much more beautiful, round edges. We added light also, and so that mounted, and we say, yeah, it's cool enough. I think it's aesthetic, we like it. So if we decide to remove the hub, we will do something like that. Instead of this, this is the previous version, we are doing this. So basically now we can choose between 2 options. These options, but with thicker cable, because we want 100% reliability in the USB, or this one without USB.
So last week we received around 170 answers, and around 25% of people chose the first option, that was a thicker cable. Around 25% chose leaving the Huble just like it is right now, and around 50% chose the option of removing the hub. Right now we're giving you 2 options, that basically it's a thick cable, and the other option is removing the hub. The reason behind this is because we want to have a 0% failure rate, so we don't want to have any kind of instability in our product. So as I said, last week we received 170 answers, but we have around 1,000 backers. So what we are going to be doing is we are going to send you a really brief questionnaire, and we are going to email it to you. And this is going to be basically 3 questions. So please take the time of answering this questionnaire, because based on what percentage of backers prefer one solution or the other, we will move on. And of course, as soon as we have these answers, we will continue iterating on the prototype, and we will show it to you and of course share it. Thank you. Bye.